Hey, you. Yes, you. The one with massive dreams but zero motivation to chase them right now. The one who keeps thinking, I want more, but I just can't make myself start. If that's you, I need you to hear me. You can have whatever you want because you're not lazy. You're human, and your brain is doing exactly what it was wired to do. Avoid discomfort and conserve energy. But what if I told you there's a smarter, kinder, science backed way to get what you want without the burnout, without the shame, and without trying to force yourself to become someone you're not? This isn't hustle culture. This is success the smart way, and I'm going to show you how to make it work for you. Hello, I'm Christy, board certified nurse practitioner, health coach, and trauma survivor. I help people change their mind and change their lives, just like I did. After surviving being shot 4 times in 1999 and spending years trying to push through, I learned the hard way that real growth, it doesn't come from force. It comes from understanding your brain, honoring your limits, and building a life that works with who you are, not against it. So if you're ambitious but tired, inspired but overwhelmed, or passionate but procrastinating, this video is for you. So let's dive in. Let's get real for a second. You have big dreams, you want to show up for your goals, so why does it feel so hard just to start? Well, here's the truth no one tells you enough. You're not lazy, you're not incapable, you're just human. And your brain, it's not working against you. It's working exactly the way it was designed to. And there is actually science to support this theory called the Motivational Triad. This powerful concept, rooted in neuroscience and behavioral psychology, was first explored in depth by social psychologist Roy F. Baumeister and renowned journalist John Tierney when they joined forces in the book Willpower to reveal the secrets of self-control and how to master it. And it's even been used to explain everything from procrastination to addiction to modern-day burnout. The motivational triad refers to the 3 primary goals of the brain when it comes to decision making and behavior. Goal 1: seek pleasure. Your brain is drawn to what feels good. Dopamine spikes, instant gratification, and short term rewards. Think scrolling social media, binge watching Netflix, or eating cookies over broccoli. Goal 2: avoid pain. This isn't just physical pain. Your brain sees anything uncomfortable, feelings of uncertainty, fear of failure, boredom, or even effort as a threat. It triggers avoidance behaviors to keep you safe. And goal 3 is to conserve energy. Survival instinct says save your calories and mental strength for real emergencies. So anything that looks like a heavy lift, like working out, launching a business, writing that book you've always wanted to, gets filtered out through the energy saving mode. What does this mean? Your brain is literally designed to resist effort. Not because you're weak, but because your nervous system is still running outdated software from prehistoric time, trying to keep you comfortable, safe, and most importantly, alive. That's why when you think, I should work out today, your brain immediately thinks, ugh, that sounds like a lot. Let's reorganize the pantry instead. It's not you being lazy, it's your brain avoiding perceived threat and effort. But here's the empowering part. You can outsmart your brain with mini goals. Once you understand that your brain hates hard things, you can stop trying to fight it and start working with it. Enter mini goals, your brain's secret trick to action. This life-changing concept is beautifully explained in Mini Habits by Stephen Guys. This idea is simple but revolutionary. Instead of setting big goals that trigger feelings of overwhelm, you set ridiculously small, achievable actions that your brain sees as safe. Think like this. I'll run 3 miles becomes I'll put on my running shoes. I'll write a book becomes I'll write 1 sentence. I'll meditate daily becomes I'll sit quietly for 30 seconds. Why does this work? Because your brain loves small wins. In fact, Every mini success triggers dopamine, which reinforces the behavior, builds momentum, and makes it more likely you'll repeat it. And that's according to the annual review of psychology. Let's make this visual. Imagine standing at the base of a mountain. You look up, and your goal, say launching your business or getting in shape, is at the peak. It feels miles away. You feel paralyzed, so you don't move. Now imagine a tiny staircase appears, just one step. You take it, then another. Each step is so small, your brain doesn't freak out. Before you know it, you've made progress, and more importantly, you feel good about it. That's how I started my own journey. When I wanted to get healthier, I didn't start with an intense gym routine. I would just lay out my workout clothes the night before. And that tiny act enforced my desire to exercise by creating less resistance within my mind because my clothes were already waiting for me, making me more likely to do it. The problem isn't your ambition. The problem is the size of your desired results. So shrink your goals. Make them feel laughably small. Let your brain say, yes, I can totally do that. And remember, what feels doable gets done. Okay, now that you've made your goals so small your brain doesn't panic, it's time to lock that tiny win into your daily rhythm. Because here's the truth bomb most people ignore. Willpower is not a long-term strategy. It's like your phone battery, great in the morning, dead by 5 p.m. That's why the real secret to getting things done, even when you feel lazy, is to build routines that take the decision making out of your hands. Our brain thrives on patterns. To demonstrate, studies in neuroscience show that up to 40 to 45% of our daily actions are habitual. That means you're already running on autopilot, just maybe not the kind that serves your goals. But here's the good news. If you can tie your mini goal to a routine, your brain will start to automate it. No stress, no overthinking, just action. And this is how you can make it lazy proof. Number one, tie your new habit to an existing one. This is called habit stacking from James Clear's book, Atomic Habits. You take something you already do and you stack your new mini goal right after. For example, after I brush my teeth, I'll write one sentence in my journal. Or after I make coffee, I'll stretch for 30 seconds. Or after I take off my work shoes, I'll put on my sneakers. This tells your brain, hey, this new thing is just a part of what we already do, and the resistance goes away. Number two, design your environment for success. Behavioral scientists like Dr. B.J. Fogg found that environment is often more important than motivation. So make it easy to start. Lay out your workout clothes the night before, like me. Keep your journal on your pillow. Leave that book you want to read on your nightstand. Delete apps that hijack your time. And use alarms and sticky notes as nudges to keep you going. This way you're not relying on willpower. You're designing triggers that make action nearly automatic. Now let's say you want to start walking more, but every time you think about it, your brain screams, ugh, I'm tired, I don't have time, it's cold out, maybe tomorrow. Here's how to lazy proof it. The night before, put your sneakers and hoodie by the door. Habit stack, and after your morning coffee, boom, put on those shoes. Mini goal, walk for 2 minutes, and that's it. Reward. When you come back, check it off your list and celebrate. Yes, seriously, celebrate that. That dopamine boost, it will reinforce that habit loop. And guess what? Most days, once you're already out the door, you'll probably keep going and you'll accomplish more than you even set out to. This method trains your brain to see goals as safe, doable, and a part of your identity. You're no longer trying to be the person who writes, walks, or meditates. You are that person. And the best part, the more consistently you show up, the less resistance you'll feel. Neuroscience calls this myelination. The more you repeat an action, the faster and smoother your brain can perform it. You don't need more motivation. You need systems that remove the need for motivation. So stop relying on willpower. Instead, make your goal so obvious and easy that you'd have to go way out of your way not to do it. And that's how you win, by working smarter. You know those days when your goals feel a mile high and your energy is somewhere else besides in your body? Yep, I've been there. But here's the thing. The hardest part of any task is just starting. That's where the 2-minute rule comes in. It's the tiniest trick that rewires your brain to take action fast. And it's backed by psychology, neuroscience, and everyday success stories. Let me break it down for you. The 2-minute rule comes from productivity expert James Clear and author of Atomic Habits. And it's so simple. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. Not 5, not 30, 2 minutes. Why? Because when something only takes 2 minutes, your brain doesn't freak out. You're not running a marathon. You're just putting on your shoes. Our brains are constantly scanning for threats. Not just physical ones, but emotional and psychological discomfort too. Starting a big task triggers your brain's amygdala, the part that processes fear and discomfort. This can cause procrastination, avoidance, and that maybe later spiral we get trapped in. But when a task is absurdly small, it slips past your brain's defense system. No red flags, no alarms, just ease. And once you start, the brain shifts from avoidance to momentum, and dopamine is released, and suddenly what felt hard feels doable. So how can you use it? So think about this. If you had this goal, I want to write a book, your brain, that's too much. The 2-minute version, I'll write 1 sentence. Or this goal, I need to exercise. Your brain would probably say, I'm too tired. The 2-minute version, I'll put on my gym shoes. And this goal, I want to meditate daily. Your brain is probably saying, there's no time. The 2-minute version, I'll sit and take 3 deep breaths. See the pattern? You're not doing the big scary goal. You're building a gateway habit, something so small it becomes your support for bigger action. Think of a tiny snowball at the top of a mountain. At first, it's so small, you could hold it in your palm. But as it rolls, it picks up speed and size. And after 30 seconds, it's the size of a basketball. And minutes later, it's as big as a car. By the time it reaches the bottom, it's an avalanche. And it started with just 1 nudge. That's the power of starting small. Take that first action and growth happens automatically. But I bet you're wondering, what if I only do 2 minutes? And that is a great question. If all you do is 2 minutes, you still win, because the real goal is not perfection. It's your identity. Every time you act, you're casting a vote for the kind of person you're becoming. I'm someone who writes. I'm someone who exercises. I'm someone who follows through. That identity shift, it's what keeps you going long after motivation fades. So make it a ritual. By nailing your starting routine every time, your brain flips into focus mode like a switch. For example, light a candle before journaling. Stretch your arms before a walk. Count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and go. Make it simple and make it sacred for you. Your brain loves rituals. They cue the mind to take action. The 2-minute rule isn't about tricking yourself. It's about training yourself, training your brain to start, training your identity to shift, training your life to build momentum without burning out. So next time you hear that inner voice whisper, not today, whisper back, just 2 minutes, and watch what happens. You don't need to hustle harder. You need to start smaller. Use the motivational triad to understand your resistance. Build lazy-proof routines to bypass willpower. And use the 2-minute rule to get moving fast. This is how we outsmart our brains and get results the easy way. Okay, here's the truth. most people completely miss when it comes to staying motivated. Your brain doesn't run on discipline, it runs on dopamine. Dopamine is your brain's "I like this, let's do it again" chemical. It's the fuel for motivation. But here's the kicker. If you only reward yourself when you hit the big goal, you're starving your brain of motivation in the meantime. That's like giving your dog a treat only after a full day obstacle course, instead of every time they sit, stay, or roll over. And spoil alert, the dog quits, and so does your brain. To emphasize, researchers Berridge and Robinson explained it best in their study, The Role of Dopamine in Reward and Motivation. They found that dopamine doesn't just spike when you get the reward, it spikes when you anticipate it. So if you learn to associate starting with something positive, boom, you've just hacked your brain into wanting to repeat that action. That's why celebrating small wins is more than just feel good fluff. It's a straight up neurological strategy. Let's say your big goal is to write a book, run a marathon, or rebuild your life after trauma. That goal might be months, even years away, but today you wrote a sentence, you laced up your shoes, you chose water over soda, and you said no to something that didn't serve you. That deserves a reward, not later, not when it's perfect, now. And here's what that could look like. Light a candle after finishing your journal entry. Take a relaxing bath after your workout. Say "I'm proud of you" to yourself and in the mirror, and yes, out loud, because your brain is listening. Or put a note on your calendar with a star so you can look back at it and see how amazing you are. Think of your brain like a GPS system. It's smart, adaptable, but it needs clear directions. If you keep changing the destination mid-ride, it's going to start spinning like recalculating, which will activate frustration mode. But when you consistently input the same habit, like gym at 7 or write for 15 minutes, your brain will proceed on the fastest route, unlocking autopilot. So celebrate small wins like GPS checkpoints. You've arrived at your first milestone. This programs your brain's roadmap. Oh, we're doing this again. Cool, I know the way. And here's where it gets powerful. When you reward the process consistently, you start shifting your identity. You're no longer just someone trying to build habits. You become the person who moves their body, writes daily, shows up even on hard days, does what they say they'll do. And that's not just progress, that's personal transformation. You're not chasing a goal anymore. You're becoming someone who naturally does what that goal requires. So if you only celebrate achievement, motivation becomes conditional. If you celebrate effort, motivation becomes consistent. This is how we rewire the brain from pressure to pleasure. From "I have to do this" to "I want to keep going." So let's recap what we just unlocked together. Shrink the goal. Trick your brain by making it ridiculously easy to begin. Build rituals. Don't rely on willpower. Design your environment to support your dreams. Use the 2-minute rule. Start small and momentum will carry. And reward progress, because showing up is success. You don't need a productivity overhaul. You don't need to be a machine. You just need a brain smart way to move forward at your own pace and in your own power. And if this message resonated with you, if a little part of your soul whispered, "This is what I've been needing," then I want you to know something. You are not lazy. You are brilliant. You've just been trying to work against your wiring instead of with it. But now you got the tools and you got the science to prove it. Do these 3 things before you go. Like this video to tell the algorithm this message matters, and comment your thoughts and tell me if you're ready to win your own way with no more shame and no more pressure. And subscribe to Trauma Free for weekly science-backed strategies to keep you motivated to rewire your life from the inside out. And remember, you don't have to hustle to be worthy. You don't have to be perfect to make progress. You just have to take the next small step. And I'll see you in the next video. Now go be brilliant, one mini step at a time.